So we spent 5 days, 4 nights, 3 rental cars, 2 hotels, all for one great concert. We're going to talk about our time in Tampa, but first, let me introduce ourselves. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself first this time because I always introduce you first. But I'm Marcus, and to my right is my lovely wife.
I'm Tanae.
I like
why he can't introduce me as well.
I mean, I let you be your own person. You know,
Okay.
I like to call it Tanazy. So, we recently just came back from a Tampa trip. First time ever being in Tampa. Got to see some things, catch up with some family, and I truly enjoyed myself, I could say. Where you want to start, baby?
I guess we can just start from like the beginning of the trip and just kind of go from there.
All right, sounds good. So we literally was flying out of Atlanta, and we decided so we don't miss our flight, we're gonna spend the night in Atlanta. So we had like a pre-trip, before the actual trip. So that's where the first hotel comes in at. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, that hotel was a hotel. Yeah.
Hotel anybody.
Yeah, even the mayor. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
We pretty much got that hotel. So like Marcus said, we went and missed the flight. That next morning, we felt like we were gonna be cutting it close. Like one of the options that we were considering was getting on the shuttle, the local shuttle here to take us to Atlanta Airport. But I don't know. It just seemed like if they possibly ran into some traffic or something like that, we were just gonna miss our flight. And then anything could have happened.
Right.
So we just decided to go the night before. We got a hotel close to the airport. We woke up early and went. The hotel was just really just something to lay our heads.
It was
for the night.
It was a pit stop. It was just a pit stop.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't the best hotel. And we came in and it was just smelling like a bunch of chemicals, I guess you could say.
It was very strong. Very strong. You know how like you get pulled over by the cops and you want to make sure that you got your substance smell away, so you spray a whole bunch of cologne or something like that. Yeah, that's what we walked into. Like we could taste the actual spray.
Yes.
So I was like, this isn't good.
And it was one of those hotels where you don't feel comfortable putting your bare feet on the floor.
Right.
Those type of hotels. But it came with a complimentary breakfast, so that was good because we didn't have to.
That came in clutch.
Find breakfast in the morning or get breakfast in the airport, which would have been expensive.
Yeah, that came in clutch. It actually lasted us all the way till we got to our next stop. And speaking of our next stop, let's talk about the airport a little bit. We ain't been in the airport since 2019, right? I think it was 2019 when we flew down to Orlando.
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah, so it's now 2024. As you can see, that's some distance in between.
And we forgot everything,
guys. So we had to navigate. We depended on each other, and we got there. But it was like, wow. And she always says this. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, what are we supposed to do again? I didn't know what order, what came in. Like, we coming from
like the terminal to the gate,
and
so let's
navigating the concourses. It's a big thing in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Because the airport is just like another city within Atlanta.
Right. So let's go ahead and tell them about terminal and gate. Right. So the terminal is the actual, I guess you can call it the building that you're going to be in, right? Because it's segmented into different kind of quote unquote buildings by letter. So your terminal is the building that you're going to be in, and the gate is the actual place where your plane takes off at. So if they say terminal N, gate A4, you have to go to terminal N. If your behind is sitting in terminal D, you ain't going to catch your flight. So that's a little tip. Make sure you figure out which one's your terminal. Go to that terminal, and then make sure you figure out which one's your gate. And listen. because they changed our gate like about 20 minutes before we took off. So if you was running late and you was just going off your ticket and you wasn't looking at the screens,
yeah, they didn't update the tickets like on the mobile app.
They did
or
late.
Even on
They did it late.
Yeah, it was late. But I would think like if you announce stuff, you would want to change it within like the following few minutes.
Yeah.
It was like right before the flight when they pretty much changed the.
They changed our gate
on the mobile app and then changed on the screens in the airport.
Yeah, it just so happened I was walking by, and I heard them talking. I heard somebody talking about a flight, and then I heard them say, "Hey, we gotta switch the gates." I mean, my ears just pick up on things like that. It was they were co-workers talking like, "Hey, we're gonna have to switch these gates," and blase blue. And then finally, it's like we weren't even sitting where our gate was because there was another flight that had to leave out first, so that area was crowded, and we couldn't really get to our seats, so we sat further down. And I heard them talking, and I was like, "Yo, what?" And then they made the announcement, and I was like, "Okay, so have your ears on, people." So we flew Spirit. It was our first time flying Spirit. How did you like Spirit Airlines?
Spirit is Spirit. I have always heard like bad things about Spirit. So I was definitely a little nervous. But the flight was okay. It was a bit uncomfortable though. There wasn't a lot of leg room. We are both tall people.
Yep.
I'm 6 feet tall. Marcus is 6'2".
On a good day. 6'3".
So long legs. So we need to be able to stretch out. But the flight was short enough to where we didn't get too uncomfortable before we ended up landing. So I mean, I can't be mad at that.
No.
They got us to Tampa, and that's all we needed, really.
Yep.
I would say that Spirit is good for short flights and not for longer flights.
Right.
So if you're going somewhere and you're traveling over 2 hours, I would say to get on another airline.
Yeah. I would.
Unless you want to sit there. I mean, if you want to suffer.
Wow.
That's fine.
She said suffer.
I don't know. I mean, maybe shorter people might.
I'm about to say they may enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was another guy on our first flight. He was taller than me, and he was sitting right across from me, and not next to me, but across from me. And he had to bend his knees in a way, like his knees were throwing up gang signs, his legs, and it's like he was used to it. He's like, "Yeah, this is just it is what it is." He bent one leg one way, another leg another way. And he got in there, right? But he says I heard him. I be eavesdropping. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I heard him say I make sure I get the aisle seats just so I can sit down a little bit comfortably. And I was like, yeah, I feel him on that.
Until they come through with that cart.
I mean, he wasn't even in the way of the cart. Like his feet wasn't in the aisles. It's just like the way that he was able to bend his knee is like his knee was able to stick out further enough where he was comfortable. I mean, he just went straight to sleep though. Like that's what I would do if
I fell asleep too on the
first one. You did.
There, yeah.
On the first one you did, you went right on out.
Yeah, I was gone. Like as soon as we got in the air, I was just out.
You were. It's all good. It's all good. So we arrived to Tampa, and we hit the hotel, right? What was your first impressions of the hotel?
Well, we didn't go to the hotel first.
We got something to eat.
Yeah, because we was definitely hungry.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about the restaurants now, but I'm just saying, like, we pretty much, the hotel was like a main attraction for us too. But you could talk about that restaurant you want to talk about it.
I mean, yeah, because it was the next little stop that we made. Once we got out of the airport, which was actually pretty seamless.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa airport is a lot smaller than Atlanta's airport. I've noticed it's a lot more cleaner, more modern. just overall, I actually like Tampa Airport better. I guess
It's smaller.
it's smaller.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, something about Atlanta's airport. It just seems kind of run down in spots, like the restrooms sometimes. And yeah. But anyway, so when we got off our flight, we pretty much picked up our rental car and left the airport. That was seamless.
Yeah, it was easy. They say they pretty much like, we got your cars right here, go for it.
Keys in the car.
Yep, keys in the car, you in lot, such and such. Have a good day.
Yep.
And when you get ready to exit out, they're gonna ask for your driver's license. They're gonna confirm, scan that car, and then you're good to go. So, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. If you did what we did, which we had 3 rental cars, and we stayed in 2 hotels, everybody wants to have some type of accountability from you, right? So everybody wants to put a hold on your car. So with the rental cars, it's typically anywhere from $200 to $500. So make sure you have room on your card. You can do a credit card, you can do a debit card. I'm not sure about prepaid cards. You might be able to. You might.
I don't know.
Depend on
about
who the prepaid card is with. If it's like a Visa prepaid, maybe. You know, that's something I'll do the research on and find out.
I would just say be safe and use a credit card.
Yeah, make sure. I mean, for those who like credit cards, you know, I get some people, they don't fool with credit cards. They'll do debit card too.
I think credit cards are good for deposits because
absolutely.
And then you can use your debit card or whatever for whatever else, and you're not worried about the money that's taken off the credit card because it's gonna come back.
Right.
Of course. I mean, it comes back on a debit card too, but like I just feel like that separation is really good. Like you just use your credit card for like incidentals and deposit whatever, and then why are you looking like that?
Because you're beating up the table.
I am not. And then your debit card for whatever else, like your food, shopping, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like it all depends. So let's say that you don't use credit cards. Using her same method, have a travel account where you're going to pull your money out for the travel account and then have your spending account. You know, however you want to do it, just make sure you got the money because they're going to look at you crazy if you ain't got the money. So that's a little tip. Make sure you have enough money for the trip. All right?
Yes. Factor in your deposits because they're not going to fall off until, for instance, you return a rental car or you check out of the hotel. So just be mindful of that. So we're going to talk about the restaurant we went to after we got out of the airport, and it was Kona Grill. We kind of recapped this a little bit, but
we did.
Kona Grill, when I first seen the sign, I was like, oh, is this like the Kona beers? Because I used to be a beer drinker. So when we went in and looked at the menu, I noticed that they did have a couple of Kona beers on there, like Kona Big Wave and Kona Longboard. So that was kind of like I don't know, me reminiscing or whatever back when I used to drink beer and enjoy beer. But anyway.
Never have I ever said, I enjoy this beer.
It's an acquired taste.
That I ain't acquired.
And, yeah, I didn't have a long stint of drinking beer, but I did for maybe a couple years or so. Enjoy the taste of beer. But I can't handle, my stomach can't handle that anymore. I guess I got older. Anyway, so I had like stuff off of the happy hour menu. It was happy hour at that time, which was perfect for me. I had well, you can see the video, but I had sangria, I had meatballs, sushi, and I had a shrimp taco. It was all decent and good.
So I think I'm just going to wrap up all the restaurants in general. Because we can be here all day recapping each restaurant, and I don't even remember all the names.
Well, yeah, of course.
I mean, it seems like every restaurant was just awesome, to be honest. I enjoyed all the restaurants. I enjoyed the hospitality that everybody gave. Money-wise, we'll go ahead and talk about that. With the restaurants, what we spent. We typically spent about $50 a meal, $50 to $60 a meal.
Yeah, we did drink water with most of our meals. So if you're buying like drinks, you're gonna have to add that on there. But
we typically do drink water though. We're water drinkers. Like we know the importance of water. We went to hot behind Florida, so our trip can be successful. And when one of us not being the that's the the with an IV in our arm, we made sure we got our water in. So, she had a few drinks here and there.
Yeah, I just had like 2 drinks.
Yeah, you had about 2.
That was it. I had one when we landed, and then I had one at the concert.
Okay, I didn't know you had ordered another one or not, but yeah, I mean, we also ordered appetizers too.
I'm not a big drinker, anyway, at all anymore. So it didn't bother me none.
So the restaurant scene in Tampa was like, I enjoyed it. Like, and we did all mom and pops, and that's something that I think people need to do more of.
Yes.
And I'm gonna let her get into that because that's one of her things. Like
just don't, if you're gonna go on vacation, you're going out of town, don't eat at these chain restaurants that you eating at your home.
The Applebee's
that you eating at locally. Don't Chili's, Olive Garden, Red Lobster.
All of them.
Don't do it. Experience some different stuff.
At least try something.
I guarantee you'll have better service, and then you'll have better quality food. It might not be a big portion of food that you might get from Applebee's or Olive Garden and things like that, but you don't need that big portion of those processed foods.
Dang, she don't went after the processed foods on this.
You can get some. Okay, anyway. Let me get off my soapbox, but just saying that, just experience some different stuff. Like, find a good restaurant, and you probably be pleasantly surprised. How good the food tastes.
I agree with that. I've always been a fan of mom and pop joints. Like, that's what I call them, mom and pop joints. If it is like a quote unquote chain, they may have like 2 or 3 restaurants, but it's something that's not. It's something that's not in our area that we'll never see a commercial for because we don't live in that area. We like to try things like that. They didn't fail. It wasn't one time I was like, man, we messed up.
Yeah, like, this is terrible.
Yeah, we messed up. Oh no. So after the restaurants, what you want to talk about, babe? You want to talk about this hotel finally?
Yeah, we can move on to Hotel Alba.
Hotel Alba. Yes, sir. So there is, and you guys, we're leaving links at the top that you can go ahead and click on. The hotel tour, as you guys saw, man, it was
very nice.
It was almost breathtaking. Like, it is walking up to it is like, okay, I'm about to open this. No, I'm not. The door opened by itself. Okay, what? And just like the customer service there was just top notch. Like, we needed towels because we take more than one shower a day sometimes. I know I do. I don't like to be funky. So we needed some more towels. We called like, hey, can we get some more towels? Like, I feel like after we hung the phone up, they were knocking on the door, handing us the towels. It was like, good God. It's like they were just that fast. They gave us suggestions on like where to eat.
Right.
And I mean,
and just nice overall.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gave us suggestions about the arena that we went to, telling us about the arenas. Like, hey, guys, try this and try that. I mean, they were just top notch. They brought you in like family, and that's kind of like all the customer service there. Everybody just kind of brought you in like family. Like, hey, come on, guys, cool, join us, type of thing.
I didn't have a bad experience anywhere I went. Like, going to the malls, going to restaurants, the hotels. Like, just anywhere. Everybody was just so nice, and friendly and helpful. And yeah, I kind of hadn't really experienced anything like that other than maybe going to like Orlando.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they knew. They probably did know that we weren't from Tampa. Most of these folks. So they may have kind of gone a little bit out of the way, but I don't think it was too far out the way. I think that's just how they generally.
We didn't have the Tampa tan.
That's their hospitality. That's how they handle, their patrons. So
especially at the nail salon. The nail salon, man, they were all fun in there. So I did get a pedicure, and that was the first time I ever got a pedicure. So I said, I was like, why not? I was going back and forth. The wife said, I'm gonna get my toes done real quick. She don't sound like that. Y'all hear how she sound, but that's how I hear it. So when we walked in, they were like, yeah, go ahead, have a seat. And they're like, husband, go ahead and sit next to her. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm sitting there in my slides. I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool, I had a brother down there. He's getting his toes done. I was like, oh, okay, all right. And then they were like, you want to get yours done? I looked at my wife. She's like, go ahead. I'm like, bet. Yeah, go for it. And then she like, this is his first time. And they were like, oh, okay. And, they joked with us like, them feet ain't bad, are they? Because I had my socks on. I'm like, I said I had a few problems, but, I'm lying because my feet, they pristine. You feel me?
They're not pristine, but they're not bad.
What you mean?
They were not pristine.
These feet are top flight. Back in the day, I used to be a foot model.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I didn't. But it's just my pinky toe. I got one little problem with my pinky toe. We ain't gonna talk about it. But their hospitality in there was just awesome. I enjoyed them. We was cutting jokes. They were even giving us suggestions on where to go and what to eat and all that. So I was just like, man, I love this place. So that's the hospitality, I think, was awesome.
Yeah.
In Tampa. Mm-hmm. So, all right, what do you want to talk about next, babe?
No complaints. Let's see. We covered the restaurants. Talked about the hotel. Mm-hmm. I guess the only thing left is like the concert, I guess.
Nope, before you go to the concert.
Oh, okay, before the concert, we went to Tarpon Springs.
Yep.
And there's a video on that.
Absolutely.
We went, and it's like a small little town. Mm-hmm. They consider it a city, but
nah, ain't no city. But
yeah, it was like a very kind of sleepy, lazy town.
Absolutely.
You could say. You kind of walk through downtown, and it's very walkable. They want you to walk through the city.
Absolutely.
We ended up going to the Replay Museum, which had retro arcade games in there. Mm-hmm. Like I said, we have a whole video on that. But that was just a wonderful experience. We paid $14 a piece, and we were able to play the games unlimitedly. No putting quarters in there constantly on game overs. You just hit the button.
Start, restart pretty much, and you pop right back on.
You get however many lives you want.
And they have a date night. They have a date night that makes it a little bit cheaper. It's like $11 per night. Mm-hmm. And like I said, the Replay Museum, guys, when I say the nostalgia, because, I'm an 80s baby, 90s kid. So, and I grew up in bowling alleys. Like, our family bowls. So, seeing all of the stand-up games, the sit-down games, the pinball games, it's just like, it just brought the kid out of me. Yeah. And I had to beat her a couple of times in a few games.
Well, I beat you a couple of times.
Yeah, you did. But I got my get back. I feel right.
So you beat me in Street Fighter.
You didn't win in Street Fighter.
No, because you picked E Honda and cheated.
I didn't cheat. How I cheat? I didn't cheat. Hey, he a sumo wrestler. I mean, sumo.
I can't do it as fast as he do it, but... But yeah. Anyway, I beat him in Mortal Kombat.
She beat the brakes off me in Mortal Kombat,
and I beat him in NFL Blitz, which we played against each other.
I mean,
and then we did like a co-op with
Teenage Mutant Turtles. Yeah, and then we did some pinball. But I'm gonna get back to the Blitz real quick. See, I'm an Eagles fan, right? And everything against my soul said, don't pick the Cowboys. But, I seen Dion, I seen Irvin. I was like, we got Troy. You seen
their rating? Because they was rated higher than the team I picked.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick the Cowboys. So, just like, might as well have been a playoff game. They didn't come through. They did not come through. Go Birds. So, yeah, I had to get that in, guys. That was just that was the highlight for me, because the more so the concert was for her, and I'm gonna let her speak on the concert, and we can go ahead and do that now if you like.
I was gonna say one more thing about Tarpon. Okay. We went and got boba from this like brewery type lounge bar thing. that was in Tarpon. It didn't take too long from the Replay Museum actually to get over there.
It was like a
And
5-minute walk.
Good.
Yeah.
They offered like almond and oat milk with the boba tea.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty good. We had a lot of boba.
We had boba every day. Every day.
Probably. And then we had 2 bobas on the last day.
Yeah.
Well, on Saturday.
No,
was that Saturday or
it
Sunday?
was Sunday. That was
Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Because we drove.
We just went on a whole tour. It seemed like just get in the boba.
If it's anybody that had a sign that said boba here, we was probably there.
The best boba in Tampa.
Oh, God.
Midtown. Was it Midtown Boba? It was Midtown something. Midtown.
That's how you know it ain't the best.
I think it was Midtown Boba. I think that's just what it was called.
It was Midtown Boba.
It was so wonderful.
And even the cups though, with the boba cups, you know how they give you the plastic cups and they kind of frail. Nah, these bad boys were lifting weights. Like these bad boys were strong. And you know how you got to stab the top of the boba, you got to get right, and you got to stab that bad. No, like
lift the
lid,
the little latch up,
insert the straw. Like they were made for boba, so they're not your like the traditional cup. Like I said, that just kind of folds in on itself. Nah, they like.
Oh, it was so good.
So she truly enjoyed that. And speaking
it was so good.
And speaking of so good, we'll go back to the food one more time. We didn't eat anywhere twice. I don't know if I said that already, but we didn't eat anywhere twice. It's like we just explored. We like, let's try some of this. We had American cuisine, we had Asian cuisine, we had seafood.
Marcus tried shrimp and crab for the first time.
I did, because now I know I don't have that shellfish allergy. I said we're gonna try some stuff, you know. And my wife, she does hit me with that. You don't try nothing. I'd be afraid to try food because I thought I had an allergy for so long. So once I figured out I don't have this allergy, I said, okay, I'm really about to just try everything. Like, I'm trying sauces, I'm trying everything. So, yeah, Tampa kind of broke me out of my shell, no pun intended, you know, of eating just seafood. And I actually like it.
Pun intended.
Pun intended? Okay. So,
messing with you.
You want to get to the main event on the whole reason of booking this Tampa trip?
Yes. We booked this trip because I wanted to go see Megan Thee Stallion in concert.
Mm-hmm.
This was her first official tour. And she brought Glorilla as a headliner. So originally I was trying to get tickets in Atlanta, but they sold out so fast. And originally they just had like that one night. They ended up adding another night, which was fine.
But what happened in Atlanta?
Time.
What happened in Atlanta though?
Atlanta had a water main break that postponed both of the concerts.
Mm-hmm.
So the original dates for the concerts was like Friday and Saturday. They had to do Sunday and Monday, which I know people were mad about.
Especially that Monday. Oh, that Monday, you can forget about it.
That was crazy.
So, you know.
So we actually kind of dodged a bullet there, which was very fortunate. So we ended up, after we couldn't get Atlanta, we just said, okay, let's just fly somewhere and we just go see her in concert wherever we go.
Yep.
So I looked at Riley. Those tickets got gone quick. So I was like, okay, let's do Tampa real quick.
Yep.
So I was able to pick up a couple tickets. They were on the side of the stage. We were close, but the view was like a little obstructed. Like you couldn't see the main part of the stage pretty much. So we kind of missed some of that. We can see some of the from the I guess the screens on the side. We could see a lot of stuff, but we kind of missed a few things that were like in the center of the stage, which was fine. But we had a really good view.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I sat majority of the show because I knew it wasn't a show for me, and I was here for her, as in my wife, and you know I let her enjoy her thing. It wasn't for me, but I mean I want to say something about the showmanship of both of them. You can tell they love their fans, you know. So you know, kudos to both of them. I give my hat off to both of them. Am I gonna bump their music? Absolutely not. It's not for me, you know. And it was some guys in there that it was for, and they gave it they all. I'm like, hey man, do your thing, but this ain't Me and another brother was sitting back. I looked at him, he looked at me once, and we were like, yeah.
I mean,
like,
everybody else was standing and enjoying themselves.
So, and that's what it was about. Enjoy yourself. You know, don't hurt nobody. Enjoy yourself. It wasn't for me, but it was for my wife. So I'm glad she enjoyed herself. That was the main thing.
Glorilla and Megan were both very punctual too. Like Glorilla got on the stage probably right after 8. Like very shortly after 8. She performed her set. It was probably about 30 minutes long. She went backstage. About 15-20 minutes, Megan was out there like ready to go. So,
and Megan had like 3 costume changes like within the show, and still keeping it moving and going. So, I mean, they did their thing. They embraced their fans. They were taking pictures like with people that was in the pit. They were grabbing their phones, taking pictures, getting real close with them.
Signing autographs
in the middle of the show. Right. I mean, like I said,
just
the show
interacting with fans, talking to fans, making jokes.
Promoted somebody's it was lip gloss line. Yeah. I think it was like Lush lip gloss or something like that.
Gush lip gloss.
Something like that. I don't know you, but shout out to you. I hope you be successful. But I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan of them, but like them showing their human side, that like, hey, I'm one of y'all, we just gonna party together. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was pretty cool.
The vibes and the energy was just like immaculate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really enjoyed that. I know Megan can be kind of a polarizing person. Like, you either love her or you hate her, it seems like, but I love her. I don't know her personally, so I take that with a grain of salt.
She loves the character.
I guess I love who she portrays.
There you go.
I'll put it that way.
Yep.
She's a wonderful performer. Like, she is a rapper. She is a rapper. Like, if nobody else is a rapper, like, she is a rapper. She will rap.
As you can see, she's a fan, y'all. So.
Like I said, I don't know her personally, but just her persona and how she carries herself, it's just, I like it. I love it. She's a girl's girl.
She's a girly girl. She is that.
She's just motivating and inspiring to me. Like, she got her degree in the midst of her career blowing up. And she's just handled like everything that she's gone through with with grace and strength. And a lot of people would have folded on a lot of things that ended up happening to her. So not to get all teary-eyed, but yeah.
For what? Oh, okay. Anyways, all right. So even getting to the arena wasn't hard to get to the arena, but we did have some issues parking.
We had bought some a parking pass like in advance.
Yeah.
Just to get prepared for the concert, and we could not find that parking lot for anything
at all.
I think the road was closed actually that led to that parking lot. So we ended up circling around several times, like around the arena, in the midst of people like walking, the cones laid out, the roads closed, and we had to detour here, detour there. It took so much time just to get around and try to find that parking lot, which we didn't even find.
It was a lot.
So we ended up parking in a parking garage eventually and made it into the concert. We just kind of gave up on trying to find that parking lot because we were kind of running out of time at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. You had to get in there. So yeah, everything, even downtown, looked good in Tampa. I'm not going to lie to you. I enjoyed just the scenery of downtown. It wasn't just all just building. It was like there's some parks down here. There's some areas over here. They got museums, everything. So we couldn't do everything we wanted to do. We chose to opt out on some things, just like we're just gonna kind of enjoy each other, and that's okay. I have a feeling we will be going back to Tampa.
Yeah.
So we'll have more chances to eat different places, drink more boba, and see more things.
Yeah. One thing about how we laid out everything, like as far as how we picked things, the hotel was like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes from the airport.
Yep.
All the shopping was like right in that area. All the food, we didn't go too far for any of that stuff.
Nope.
So I like the way we picked the hotel, because it was close to the airport and it was close to the arena too. The arena was probably like 15 minutes away as well.
Right.
So everything was just like right there. That main road, like Kennedy,
yeah, JFK.
Yeah, had about everything. Del Mabry, just that Midtown area. They just had everything.
But yeah,
everything that you needed.
Kennedy's in like the main vein that's gonna get you through everything to Tampa. So I mean, that's the importance of a travel agent, though, you know. And that's what we are. We're travel agents. So we're going to do a little bit more research instead of just saying, oh, this hotel is $3 cheaper. We're going to pick this hotel. You know,
not even knowing that it's like out of the way of everything.
So we took time and we did the research. And we didn't pick on just like 5 minutes. Like we spent 20-30 minutes looking at everywhere we wanted to be. Everything we had to do. And like, is it going to be out the way? Like, we looked at one that was out the way, right? And we're like, no, we don't want to be that far out where you got to drive 15 minutes just to drive another 25-30 minutes to get to where you want to go. So I say that to say this, guys. Even if you're not going to go the route of a travel agent, do your homework. Do your research. Sometimes paying a little bit more for your hotel will save you that headache of like, man, every time I want to go somewhere, I gotta drive at least 30 minutes just to get to see civilization. So, but if you don't want to do that homework, holla at us. Clutch Vacations. Emails down below.
Yeah, we definitely take care of it for you.
We'll take care of it.
One thing we want you guys to do is like and subscribe.
Absolutely.
Comment below if you have any questions. Anything that you found funny or interesting, just put your comment below.
Absolutely.
We definitely would appreciate also likes and subscribes. We're trying to build this channel. We're trying to get content out there, and just share our experiences.
Absolutely. And we want to educate as well. We want to make sure you guys know what we did wrong or what we did right, and we want y'all's vacation to be better than the best vacation you can be. You know, because we typically, I'm talking about Americans, we don't really go on vacation like that. You know, we talk about it. We end up using more of our vacation days just to, you know, for a doctor's visit or what have you. So I want vacation to come on back. Us hit these vacation streets. And get into it. And we're here to help y'all out with that. Speaking of vacation, I got to talk about one that's coming up for us.
Okay.
So, in November, we are going to the Bahamas on a 5-day cruise. My homeboy, my best friend, he's like a brother to me. This is his first cruise, so we're going to make sure we get him right. So, we want the cruise bug to just go ahead and bite him so he can keep coming with us. But we have that cruise coming up, so y'all make sure y'all watch out for that content. We're going to have content in between just for educational videos. And if we decide to do a little quick weekend vacation, we're going to bring y'all too. All right? That sounds good.
Yeah. I had a little burp.
You had a little burpity burp.
Yeah, I had to get it out.
Had to get it on now. Okay, I got you. So we need to tell them about prices, right?
Yeah.
Because we done covered everything. And then we got this series of videos for you guys. If you want to watch it, just click it, the playlist, watch everything. But we need to talk about how much did everything cost, right?
Yeah. So in total, because we had that package, we ended up spending $1,300. And that included the tickets to the concert.
Absolutely. So
the tickets actually weren't that much because they were kind of an obstructed view, but we could still see the stage like just fine. We weren't in the nosebleeds or anything. We were actually pretty close.
We were really
just
close.
that we were on the side of the stage.
We were one section down for being on the floor,
right.
to be honest. So it's like we were really like right there.
Yes.
Like we didn't need binoculars to see anybody. She came to our side of the stage, and well, both of them did. They both came. She's plural. They came to the side of the stage that we were at, so they could see everything. You know, see their fans, and they even brought people on stage from our section too.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were close enough for the interactions. So absolutely, I even felt the heat from the flames when the flames was going up, and so we were close. So, like she said, $1,300. I'm gonna let her finish her point as well.
Oh, I mean that was it. Yeah. We paid additional for bags on Spirit. I think it was like $150
total. Yeah.
I guess you could say it was about $1,400 then, $1,450 or so.
But you know that was our choice because we could have took a backpack, to be honest, and packed everything, but we wanted to make sure if we.
I don't know if I could have fit everything in the backpack, but
I probably could have.
I carry on my luggage, and Marcus does as well. I would definitely recommend that you can get in and out of the airport quicker. You don't have to sit and wait for your bags. So pack light and just go on and get your carry on and carry your stuff on.
Absolutely. So the companies that we booked with was Enterprise for one rental car. Thrifty for the rental car that was in Tampa. So Enterprise was a rental car in Chattanooga. Thrifty was the rental car in Tampa Airport. And then the Atlanta Airport, we had Alamo. Those were our three rentals there. And then the hotel we stayed at was Hotel Alba by Hilton. Those are the companies that we use. Like she said, we had a package deal. The tickets came from Ticketmaster, right?
Right.
So our package deal with everything was probably about $1,400.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like that was bad for what we got.
So,
yeah.
Yep. So that's 5 days, 4 nights, 3 rentals, 2 hotels, and a concert for $1,400. So,
yeah, I think that was pretty reasonable.
Absolutely. And like food, we're not going to include our food in there because you may choose something different. You know, you may say, hey, I don't want that $20 steak. You know, let me get these $9 chicken tenders.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why we don't include our food.
We didn't include food or shopping.
We didn't even have to
pedicures.
No, we didn't include pedicures. And with gas, we didn't even have to put that much gas in the tanks on either vehicle. So, I mean, everything was just great.
Yeah.
In my point. So
everything just worked out like it was supposed to.
Absolutely. So now we're going to give the rating of the overall trip. Everything that we just went over. Babe, you are up to bat. What do you think? We're going to do out of 10 or you want to do out of 5?
Out of 10.
Out of 10. All right. What we got?
I give it a 9. I'm deducting points for Spirit. Even, they got us there. But it was slightly uncomfortable, just as a taller person. And that first plane seemed like they packed more seats on there.
Yeah, it had to be an older
from the
plane.
Atlanta airport. The Tampa airport seemed like it had a little bit. The Tampa airport's plane, Spirit plane, seemed like it had a little bit more room.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
We weren't in the air any longer than like an hour and a half. Like it took us an hour to get there, and then we were descending for about 20-30 minutes. So it didn't really take a long time at all. And then I'm deducting another like half point for the hotel. So
she's talking about the Atlanta hotel.
The Atlanta hotel. So not a solid 9 out of 10. What would you rate it?
So 9 out of 10. You said. About the same, 9 out of 10. The pre-trip could have been a little bit better. We ate at an awesome restaurant in Atlanta, in Marietta, to be exact.
Yeah.
And we got to go.
And we had boba.
We had boba as well.
I forgot about we had boba there. We had boba the whole time.
We had boba the whole trip. So we didn't all do tapioca pearls. We did like the different fruit. We probably didn't even have like the same boba. We probably tried different types of boba as well.
Yes, we did.
So
I loved it.
So I probably give it about a 9. Always room for growth. It was our first hotel, but we picked that hotel, right? So
I mean, we picked the flight, we picked the hotel.
We picked the hotel and the flight. I just like with me being taller, I would probably spend a little bit more money and sit on like by the emergency door, to be honest.
Or just on a different flight.
Or a different flight.
Yeah,
I mean,
we usually fly Delta, but
yeah.
The little package deal came with the Spirit airline, and we was like, hey, as long as they get us there.
Yeah, and it was cheaper, and it worked. It worked out in our time frame. Like flying back on Sunday, our flight wasn't till 10 p.m. So we got a chance to explore Tampa more, but at some points I was like, yeah, I'm kind of ready to go ahead and get on home.
Yeah, and I think one reason is why we were kind of feeling that way is because we didn't want to spend more money on parking downtown to like go to the history museum or the history center or like the art museum or anything like that. Like we had already spent that. We spent $30 going down there to park for the concert.
Right.
And it's like, do we really want to? I don't even know if it would have been the same price, but it's like, do we really want to spend more money on parking?
It was more so of like, I guess we were just we like to keep our budget intact too. So we were like, hey, we're getting close to our budget and, we want to save some so we can come back. So, it hit that point where we start, we start locking that card up. We're like, gotta work in the morning, and them paychecks.
We gotta make this money back.
Gotta make this money back. So, once again, guys, we are Clutch Vacations. Make sure y'all drop us an email. And I have that link down below in the description. If you guys are interested on going on vacation, if you got a family reunion coming up and you're like, hey, I need some ideas for family reunions. If you're a travel ball coach or you're a travel ball parent, you know how it goes. You got to book a hotel for wherever your child goes, and you hope that he actually gets in the game this time. So we can help you guys out with that as well. Or you just trying to get away. You're trying to leave your wife and just get away for... No. All right.
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with a men's trip.
Yeah.
Or a women's trip.
No.
Oh, okay.
Babe. You gotta say
that. Don't work?
You gotta stay next to me. I can't let the honey pot go away.
Oh, but you get to leave.
Yeah, I need, those guys.
How does that work?
You can come too then.
No. You wouldn't want to go with y'all?
Why not? We real fun. You gonna be protected.
Anyway.
Just a bunch of alpha males just running around.
I'll let y'all have
beating the chest.
I'll let y'all have that.
No? Mm-hmm. All right. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this this review. I know I'm goofy, but y'all just gonna have to get used to it. All right. Do you got any closing remarks, babe?
No.
No?
I think we covered everything.
All right.
Make sure, like I said a little bit earlier, like and subscribe. We definitely would appreciate it. We're trying to grow this channel.
Absolutely.
We're trying to get some content out to you guys, get some helpful tips, and just show what we experience.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and end it the only way I know how to. Make sure we're keeping God first. Make sure you tell somebody that you love them. Do it now because you may not get the opportunity to do it later. Until next time, peace.